Deep within the ancient forests where shadow and silence reigned supreme, there existed ancient rules that every hunter had to engrave upon their very soul. These were not mere advice, but chilling warnings passed down from generation to generation, whispered in the cold wind and the rustling leaves. The first rule: never answer if your name is called from the deep woods after dark. The second rule: absolutely never whistle at night. These rules, though they might sound like superstition, were the fragile wall separating life from something far more terrifying than death itself. That terrifying entity was the Wendigo, a mysterious being from Native American folklore. It was not merely a monster, but the spirit of the most desolate places, the embodiment of insatiable gluttony and bottomless hunger. It is said that the Wendigo was once a human, trapped in a winter so harsh that they were forced to resort to cannibalism to survive. That horrific act transformed them into a cursed creature with a hunger that could never be satisfied, forever wandering in search of new prey. The Wendigo's hunger was not just a physical craving, but a hunger of the soul, an emptiness that nothing could ever fill. Even as time passed, tales of the Wendigo continued to haunt the bravest hunters. They knew that no matter how much science advanced, there were still things beyond human comprehension, dangers lurking in the dark shadows. And somewhere in the frigid forests of Minnesota, a hunter named Ethan had to confront that ultimate horror, an encounter that completely changed his perception of the world, of the fragile boundaries between reality and legend. He had prepared for a normal hunting trip, but the deep woods had other plans. Ethan had meticulously prepared for his hunting trip, hoping for a peaceful morning and moments of immersion in nature. He climbed his familiar tree stand, waiting for dawn to dispel the early mist. But then, as the faint light began to break, an unusual silhouette caught his attention. It was a deer, but unlike any deer he had ever seen. It stood motionless, staring at Ethan with empty eyes, devoid of the slightest fear or curiosity a wild animal usually possessed. A shiver ran down Ethan's spine. He knew something was terribly wrong, an unsettling anomaly. The deer remained there like a statue, until suddenly it vanished. Not a sound, not a trace. Ethan gripped his rifle, his heart pounding in his chest. He turned his head, looking around, trying to find any sign of it. And then a voice echoed right behind him from the base of the tree stand. It was his own voice, calling his name, whispering eerily, "Ethan, come down." Ethan's blood ran cold. He immediately remembered the ancient rule: never answer if your name is called from the deep woods after dark. But this wasn't night, and the voice was terrifyingly like his own. His survival instinct told him this was no friend, but something malevolent lurking in the shadows. He clung to the tree stand, not daring to move an inch. He knew if he went down, he would never return. That entire night, Ethan was trapped on the tree stand. The repulsive creature lingered below, occasionally calling his name, sometimes mimicking the whistling wind, the snapping of branches, trying to break his will. Heavy breathing, rustling footsteps all echoed in the darkness, sowing extreme terror. Ethan couldn't sleep, couldn't even blink. He could only pray and hold on, enduring the longest night of his life, a night where he faced not only fear, but also profound solitude, knowing that a single small mistake could be the end. As the first rays of dawn tore through the canopy, the whispering finally stopped. The silence of the morning was heavy, almost suffocating. Ethan didn't wait to check. He didn't look down. Adrenaline pushed his exhausted body as he practically jumped from the tree stand and sprinted toward his truck. He threw his gear in the back, keys trembling in his hands, and drove. He drove until the tree line was nothing but a blur in his rearview mirror. He thought he had escaped. Ethan never returned to the woods. He sold his rifle, moved to the city, and surrounded himself with concrete walls and streetlights, desperate to drown out the memory of that night. He told himself it was just stress, hallucination, a trick of the mind. But the Wendigo is not just a monster of flesh and bone. It is a curse that marks its prey. Years have passed, and Ethan lives alone now. He locks his doors every night. He keeps the curtains drawn, because sometimes when the city noise dies down in the dead of night, he still hears it. Not from the woods, but from the dark corner of his own hallway, a faint, low whistle. And just last night, as he stood frozen by his bedroom door, a voice drifted from the other side. It wasn't a stranger's voice. It was his own voice, whispering the same words from years ago.